Welcome students. Today we will see the schematic explanation about this question bank. There are some 15 questions. As you can see here, there are some of the questions are there. There will be some 15 questions are there. Today we will see how to write the answers of all the 15 questions in our VTU exam. And we will see how, what all the points will be there, how we are going to write, how we are going to remember the points. So what is the first question? If I copy the first question, so let's start here only. Okay, so here we are going to start, and if you want to write along with me, you can write also. That is your choice. So I will just change it so that you can see also properly. So this is the question. So what all are the points we are going to write under your briefly explain software engineering code of ethics? As we know that there are some 4 or 5 points. I think 4 points are there. So I'll just write down the points. The first point you have to explain about misuse. We are going to write misuse of informations. That is the first point. Second point I have to write. If there is any spelling mistake, please you correct it from your side. Okay. The second point will be, as I remembered, confidentiality. That is the second point. What is the next point we are going to write? That is competence. Competence. What is the next point we are going to write? Rights. So these all are your 4 points which you are going to elaborate, in your exam. Okay, if you will write this question can come for your hardly 6 marks of question or 4 marks of question. This can come for your 4 or 6 marks of question. You have to elaborate in this way. Okay, what is our second question? You can see, explain the key challenges. I'll just copy the question and paste it for you people here. Then as you can see, this one, the question, explain the key challenges facing software engineering. So what will be the answers for this? So we have to write the points which comes under your software engineering challenges. As I remembered, there are some points. The first point will be coping with legacy system. Coping with legacy system. Second point will be heterogeneity challenge. Heterogeneity challenge. If there is any spelling mistake, please you can correct it. Heterogeneity challenge. Okay. What is the third point I gave? There are some 3 challenges are there. So third point will be delivery time challenge. So you are going to write about all these points, okay, for your second question. These 3 questions, if you are going to elaborate, then the question is whatever is there, the key challenges facing software engineering. This also can come for your 4 or 6 marks of question, and you are going to write, you are going to describe about these 3 points, and each point will carry somehow around 2 marks. So you are going to write about some 2 lines about each of the points. Moving towards the third question. What is the third question? Let me copy this question and paste it here. So here, this is okay, so that you can see properly. You should not have any doubts. What is the question? What is a software process model? So how we are going to write what is a software process model? So what you are going to do is, first you need to write the definition of software process model. Okay, otherwise you can write the first as what is your process model. First you are going to write about the what is your definition of your process model. Okay, Once you will write down the definition of process model, next point, you, as the question says, that you have to do the diagram of your waterfall model. So first we will finish up about the process model. Then you have to write definition of your software process model, because as it is a software engineering, if you won't write the proper definitions, you won't get the marks. Okay, so definition of software process model you are writing. Then you have to write the types of software process model. Okay, in this type there will be two types. The first one will come as your waterfall model. Second one will come as your, sorry, three points are there. Incremental model. Third point will be spiral model. Individually, all these questions will come differently. Okay, but what is our question? To write about the waterfall model. So what we are going to do? We have to write about the waterfall model. So after this, you have to start writing about your waterfall model. Here, once you are going to start with your waterfall model, what you are going to write is definition first. Okay, what is the meaning, definition or meaning of your waterfall model? Then next you are going to write, this F is capital here. Okay, definition or meaning. Once you're writing the definition and meaning, you have to draw the diagram. You can see I have already given you the PPTs. From there you will get the diagrams. Once you are going to write the diagrams, inside the diagrams there are many points. Okay, so what are the points you are going to mention? I just write down the points. So under to that, inside that, the first point will come as your requirement gathering and analysis. That is your first point. Okay, inside your diagram you can see you have to write this point, and you have to write what is the point mean. So meaning of the point also you are going to write. Then the second point will be your design. You have to elaborate the design. So inside this design also, again you will find some of the points. Okay, I'll just write down in this way. What are the points you are going to find out? The first point, inside your design you will find about, you have to write about the data structure. Okay, then one more also is there, you have to write about the software architecture. These all are the small points. So one more is also there, that you are going to write about the interface representation. Okay, next one more point is also there. You have to elaborate about algorithm. What is the meaning of your algorithm? What you are understanding about the algorithm? Details, DAILS. Okay, so these are the points under your this design part. Once this one will get over, the design will get over. Next you have to elaborate about the coding. Okay, so next step will be testing. As we know, in the diagram only this testing will be there. So you are going to write about the testing. So in this, after the testing, there will be the another, that is maintenance. Okay, so these are your 5 points you are going to write. But you can see the question. What is the question? You have to write a software process model and diagram over, explanations are also over. Once this one will get over, you have to write one more thing also about this waterfall model, that is the drawbacks. Why we are not using the waterfall model? So that will be your drawbacks of waterfall model. So you can find out these drawbacks. There will be some points you can write down from by seeing the slides. So this is all about your third question. Moving towards your fourth question. What is the question? Requirement engineering process. I'll just copy and paste the question. Okay, so this is my fourth question. So now here we will see the fourth question, requirement engineering process. This is a very big, actually the answer, but you have to write properly about that. Okay, So what is the first point? Let's see. What is the first point? So as I can remember, first you have to elaborate about the meaning or a definition about your requirement engineering process. What is the meaning of this requirement engineering process? So first you have to elaborate this. Okay. So once you have elaborated, next, that is your first point. Next, what you're going to do is you have to draw the diagram. One diagram will be there in the slide. You can refer the slides or you can refer my previous videos also. You will find out one diagram. In next, what you're going to do, you have to write the generic activities. What are the generic activities will be there? So first point we have written about this meaning. Second, we have written about the diagram. Third we are going to write. So third, what we are going to write? The generic activities. What all are the generic activities will be there? So inside this, you will find out some points. Okay, you have to remember all the points. It is a very big question. This waterfall model, I forgot to tell you, this can come for your 8 or 10 marks of question. This is also can come for your 8 or 10 marks of question. This is a 100% question. Okay. So what all are the generic activities are there? The first one is requirement elicitation. Okay. What is the next point? As you can see, what is the next one? Second point, as I remembered, analysis, requirement analysis. Okay. Third point, what you are going to write? Requirement validation. So requirement validation. What is the fourth point? You are going to write the fourth point, as I remember, management. Requirement management. Okay, these are your major 4 points about your requirement engineering process. So when you will start with these things, again you have to write under that many points. So what all are the points will be there? Okay, so first, if you are coming under your requirement elicitation, there are many points. So what all are the points? First point will be your stakeholders. So the problem is, as it is only a 10 marks of question, you have to elaborate all these things. Okay. And the next thing is, if you remember only the points, that is also enough. You can add some 2-3 points and you can write down. So this is your requirement. This is your about the elicitation. You have to write the about the stakeholders. Okay. So next one you can say analysis is there. Yeah. So you can write there as requirement analysis. There is requirement discovery also. So here you can write. I'll write down under this. So here one more point you have to write. You have to write here the requirement discovery. Okay. So requirement discovery. So that is one more point here under your analysis process. And also here one more point is there, requirement classification. Requirement classification. One more point is also there, requirement prioritization. Prioritization. Okay, that's all. Then you have one more point also, actually, yeah, documentation. Requirement documentation. Just find out how much big the question it is. Okay, so these all are about, you can write here the stakeholders, and some problems will be there with the stakeholders. Okay, that problems with stakeholder you are going to define here itself. That is better. Yes. So this is about your requirement analysis. So next what we are going to do, we have to write the requirement validation. What we are going to write about the requirement validation, we'll just go under to that and write first point as I remember, there will be validity. The first point will be the validity. Second point will be the consistency. Okay, that is your second point. Third point will be your completeness, like at what time you are going to complete your all the requirement gathering process. Okay, Next one will be your realism. How much reality is there with your data. Third one will be your verifiability. You have to verify all these things. Verifiability. Okay. So these all are about your requirement validation. And also there are some requirement techniques. Okay. So that is one more thing is there where you are going to write about the requirement techniques. That also you have to mention requirement techniques under this point only you have to write the requirement techniques. What all are the things you have to write here? You have to write here, I'll just put here only the bar because it is a subset point of this. You have to write the reviews, then you have to write about the prototyping, then you have to write about the test cases. What all are the test cases are there? Okay, test cases, that's all. So then the last one will be your requirement management. So what you are going to write the requirement management, you have to mention here that how what all are the variety of requirements are there, requirements, how you are going to manage the requirements. So there will be variety of requirement management, and itself if it will come, then it will come for your like 6 marks question also differently. But if you are going to write into this, first you are going to write enduring and volatile requirements. Okay, next point will be there like management planning, requirement management planning. Then the next point will be requirement change management. Okay, so these are the points, I guess only 3 points. Yeah, there will be no more points. And but inside that there are some sub points are there. So enduring and volatile requirement is there. So inside this you can write some sub points. So first point will be here as your like what are the types of volatile requirements are there. Okay, there are some types are there, so that you have to write. I'll just write down here. I'll just write down the types. So what are the first type? You have to write mutable requirement, mutable. Okay. Then second point will be consequential requirement, consequential requirement. Then the third point will be that is your emergent requirements, emergent requirements. And the fourth one is, I guess, this compatibility. Yeah, compatibility requirements. Okay, these all are your 4 subparts you have to write. Okay, so then the next one will be your requirement management planning. So in requirement management planning, if you want, there is one diagram also. Okay, so if you want, you can draw the diagram first, then you have to elaborate that diagram. There will be some traceability will be there, which is known as your source traceability. All these points I have explained through the last videos, last classes. You can check that. Next one will be your requirement traceability. The third one was your what is that? Design. Yeah, design traceability. Design traceability. Okay. Well, the error is here. Okay, please. Fine. So now design traceability. Yes. Then the next one will be your requirement change management. Under your requirement change management, there are some subpoints again. So the first subpoint will be your problem analysis, and change specification. Problem analysis and change specification. Okay, that is your first point under to this. Second point will be second point, let me get it. It is a change analysis and some caustic factors. Change analysis and cost factor. Okay, then the third point will be implementation, how you are going to make the change implementation. Okay, so this is implementation. Yeah, okay. So this is all about your requirement engineering process. So if you are going to write this much, then only you are going to get your 10 marks. Okay, so now next, moving towards your fifth question, rational unified process. This is also a very important thing. So here what we are going to do is, we have to, I'll just paste the question first. Okay, let me select the question so that you can see the question properly. Okay, fine. So now I'll just write down the answer. Neat diagram, explain the rational unified process. It is also a very important question. It can come for your 6 or 8 marks of question. Okay, so it has already come also. So you can see there are some of the, like, what to say, there are some perspective will be there. Okay, so you have to mention the perspective first. What all are the variety of perspective is there? The first one will be your dynamic, then second one will be your static, third one will be your, it is easy to remember, and practice. This question 100%, whatever the questions I have given, all the questions already came in the exam. So there is nothing like some new questions I have given, but only the thing is that how to write the answer, it is very important to know. So these all are your 3 practices. Perspectives will be there. Then you are going to have the phases. Okay, so these phases you have to mention. So one diagram also will be there. So when you are going to write the pages, first you do the diagram. That is better. First you do the diagram. Okay, then next you have to write the pages name. What all are the pages name are there? First page name will be your inception. Okay, second will be yours elaboration. This is very small points and easy to remember and easy to write also. Next, construction. Next one will be transition. Okay, these all are your 4 points. You have to elaborate according to your you can add your technical points and elaborate. Next one will be your, once this one will be done, you have to write the advantages. Don't forget to write the advantages. Okay, you can prefer the book also to write, or you can see the notes also, slide also, anything. Okay, these all are your advantages. After that you have to write, there will be some fundamental practices. Okay, there are some fundamental practices. So you have to mention that fundamental practices. What all are that? The first one is your develop software iteratively. Means always you have to, why to change always. Okay, that meaning you have to elaborate here. Next one is, okay, spelling mistakes. Okay, no problem. Next is manage requirements. You are going to, how you are going to manage the requirement. Manage the requirements. Okay. Third one will be use your component. Component based architecture. You have to, how you are going to use the component based architecture. Next one will be your visually model software. These are the points. Last point, you have to verify the software quality. You have to verify software quality. These all are the points under to your some practices. Got it? So this is about your rational unified process. Then moving towards your next question. What is the 6th question? With the help of neat diagram, explain the insulin pump control system. This is also there. This is also there in your slide also, video also. You can see that also. This is the 6th question. How you are, this can come for your 6 or 8 marks. Any kind of case studies can come for your 6 or 8 marks of question. So what you are going to write there? First you have to write about, what is that actually? Okay, about your insulin pump control system, how it is working and all. Then you have to do the hardware architecture. You need to do the hardware architecture. Once the hardware architecture is done, you have to do the, as I told you, activity model. That is very important, activity model. Then you have to do the high level requirements. High level requirements. So these are the points which you are going to do under your this question. So these are for any kind of your case studies will come, you are going to follow this many steps. Next question is 7th question, spiral model. This is also important question. Okay, this is my 7th question, right? 7th question, yeah. Okay, so I'll just select this so that you can see properly. Okay, this is my 7th question, how I'm going to write about the spiral model. So for this spiral model, what we have to do, there is a diagram. Okay, you have to write the diagram, you have to explain also properly, then only you are going to get the point marks. Okay, this question can come for your hardly 6 marks or 8 marks. 6 or 8 marks. So what all are the points will be there inside this? First you need to do, you have to write the meaning of, you have to do the meaning of spiral model. The meaning of spiral model. Once you have done the meaning of spiral model, you have to do the diagram. It's not a block diagram, it's a diagram. Okay, you have to do the diagram. Once the diagram will be done, you have to elaborate with some of the points. That points I'm going to write. There will be some task regions. Okay, where you are, when you will do the diagram, you will find out some task regions. So what all are the task regions? That points I'm going to write down. The first point is customer communication. First you are going to do, you can see that's the same thing is in your diagram also. Next you are going to do the planning, how you are going to do the planning. Then you have to write the risk analysis. Okay, then you have to do the engineering. Then you are going to write the construct and release, the points construct and release. Next you are going to write the evaluation process, customer evaluation process. Next you are going, I think that much only, 6 points, yeah, 6 spiral models will be there. Once this one will be done, you have done with the task regions, you have to write the advantages. Don't forget to write the advantages of your spiral model. Then lastly, if you want, you can write down, or better to write only drawbacks of spiral model. So if you are writing this much, you are going to get the 6 or 8 marks of question. Next one, we will see the next question. What is that? Explain ethnography in detail. I just paste the question here. Okay, this is our 8th question. Explain the ethnography in detail. So I think that also it is there in our slide also. That also you can check it out. So here I'm going to write some of the points about the ethnography. There are some types and one diagram is there. This one can come for your 4 or 6 marks of question. Okay, here first you have to do the diagram. First you do the diagram. Otherwise do one thing, first you write the meaning of this. Okay, what is the meaning about your ethnography? Then you do the diagram. Once you have done with this, there are some 2 types. What are the 2 types? The first type will be like your how the people are going to work. You have to elaborate about the you have to elaborate about the people work. Okay, so you have to elaborate about the people work. Next, what you are going to do? Next, you are going to write about the cooperations and how you are going to give the awareness, cooperation and awareness. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, cooperation and awareness. You are going to write. The next you can write this much is enough. Actually, you can elaborate only these 2 types of things. Okay, no need to write more. Then in the diagram, some of the points will be there that you are going to write. Okay, you have to elaborate that things and all. So once you will write down all these things, that is enough for your this much of like ethnography. That much is enough. Okay. So next question will be your what is software and how you are going to face this. I'll just copy and paste it. Okay. This is which question number? This question is 9th question. This is the 9th question. Now we are going to write about the this question. What is software and the software engineering activity. So what are the points we will see now in this question? We need to write the first the meaning of software, as the question has already given. Some 2 marks will be assigned for this. So we have to write first what is the meaning of software. So once you have written the meaning of the software, then the question is write down the fundamental software engineering activities. Okay, so what are the fundamental engineering activities? You will find out some of the fundamental engineering activities. That also one minute. I'll just write down some activities we have to mention. Okay, some activities. Some activities we are going to mention here. Then what you are going to see, whenever you are going to write the meaning of the software, don't forget to write about the generic and custom softwares. Okay, that you don't forget to mention. That is very important to write the generic and the custom. Like these are the software products. Once you are going to write that, then it has to go for your activities. What are the activities will be there, or you can mention as your attributes also. Some points I will just write down. Maintainability, some points. Second point you can write as your usability. Third point I'll write it as your dependability. Fourth point you can write as your efficiency. So these points are under your activities. Okay. Then next, once the meaning of the software and activities you have written, next point you have to write as for the question the key challenges. Okay, you have to mention about the challenges. I'll write down the challenges points. So these are your challenges, whatever you are going to write. What are the challenges? The first challenge will be copying with legacy system. Okay, second one will be heterogeneity challenge. Third one will be, please ignore the spelling mistakes, heterogeneity challenge. Then delivery time challenge. These all are your 3 major challenges which you have to mention. Once these challenges will get over, then you can write about the some general issues are there. Okay, what are the issues are there, and I just want to elaborate this point little more so that you will have an idea. Also you can add in this also some more points like some specifications. Okay, that also you can add here, that is better. Some development. Okay, specification, development. Then you can write evaluation, validation. All these points you can add here. Validation, evolution. Okay, you can add here also that points, that is better. So now these are our challenges. So now we can see that what all are the issues are happening in this software development. You just mention some 3-4 lines, whatever you are feeling like how issues will be there. You can see the slides. directly it is there. There is no such points. Just you have to briefly describe about the issues. Next question is, let me copy and paste. So this is my 10th question. The question is, write a block diagram with the incremental development model. State at least two benefits and the problems in incremental development. Okay. So first, as it is an incremental development, so what you are going to do is, you have to write the meaning first. Okay. Always you remember, you have to start with the meaning of incremental, what it is doing, what is that actually, first you have to mention. So first you are going to write incremental development, the meaning. Once you have written with your meaning, next you can ask the question, suggest you to do the this diagram, block diagram. There is a block diagram, it's there in your slide also. You can see that block diagram you have to do. Once you have done with the block diagram, next what you are going to do, you have to specify some of the activities, okay, what it is actually doing, and that activities also will be there in your book. So what are the activities it is preferring? There are some variety of activities are there that you can, I'll just write down here. Specification, okay, as I have written in the previous also, same kind. It is not, nothing is different. Development, okay, next validation, evolution, all these things you can mention here also, no problem, because these all are the points. Okay, we are going to write how we are going to work on this. So these are some of the points I have written about the activities of your incremental development. Once you have written about your activities, as the question suggests you have to write the benefits. So there will be the benefits. So what are the points will come under your benefits? If you know, you can elaborate the points. If I'll just mention some of the points here. The benefits benefit can be according to the cost. Okay, the first point will be on your cost, how the cost they are going to do, and the next one will be the comment from the customer. Okay, from customer. So what are the comments they have given, and is it benefited towards you or not? And if you want to write one more, you can write the delivery process, rapid delivery process. Okay, how you are going to deliver this thing, how fast. These are your benefits. You can take it as your term in benefits and you can write out. So this is their benefits. So now the next question is, what are the problems or drawbacks? You have to write the drawback. So there are again some of the points are there under your drawbacks. So what are the points I just mentioned here? The first point you can write about the system architecture, because always we have to go for the architecture implementation. These all are always will be the drawbacks for us. Okay, and if it is not cost, see in the benefits I have written cost, but now you have to like if any version will change, version will change, it affects the cost. So it is a cost effective method. You have to elaborate the point in this way. So these all are will be your kind of your drawbacks. Okay, so if the version is getting changed, how it is getting to be cost effective. 2 points are enough, because this question is going to come for your 6 or 8 marks. So if you will write the diagram and everything, definitely it is going to be a 6 or 8 marks of question. And previously I just forgot, yeah, I have not mentioned over here. I'll just write down here 6 or 8 marks of question. That is what is up there. Then the next question, and just move down to the next question, that is your functional and non-functional requirements. I have, let me write here. Okay, this is my 11th question. Explain the functional and non-functional requirements. So what we are going to do here, we have to see some of the points. So what are that points will be there that we have to see now. So first let me write the functional requirements. Okay, first we will see about the functional requirements. So in the functional requirements, what are the points will be there? There will be many points. Okay, but the headings only I am writing here. The first one will be your problems associated. What are the problems are there which is associated with functional requirement. Okay, that is the first point you can say. And under this point there are many points now. So what is the first point under to this? I'll write down that requirement in pre-season now, like how it is getting to be decreased. Okay. Second point I can write like the ambiguous requirements, some of the ambiguous requirement which is not required only if it has come, what to do with that, how we are going to work out with that. Third point, you can write down users intention, how the users, what will be the user intention, user. Okay. Next one, you are going to, you can write the interpretations. Okay. Developers interpretation, what they are interpreting, interpretations. Okay, how it is going to be. And another point is also there where you can mention like completeness and consistency. Completeness and consistency. Okay, these all will be the points under to this. Next one, this is about your functional requirement. Next one, if I will come for the non-functional requirements, how it will be, I have to mention here non-functional requirements. There are again some points are there, some of the types are there. We'll see all the types now. The first one you can write product. Okay, product requirement. Then the next one you can write as your organizational requirement. That is the next one. You can write external. Many points are there. You have to remember all the points properly. That is first important thing. Then you can write performance requirement. Okay, so these are your some requirements are there. I will just make it as non-bold so that it will be under your requirements. Okay, so this is all about your you have to elaborate this point. This is all about your functional non-functional requirements. So he will ask you some of the examples. Okay, so what you are going to mention with your examples. So I'll just highlight here about the examples now. So I'll just write down here examples. 1 minute, yeah. Examples. You have to take the examples in such a way that where you can give the example about the organizations. Okay, give the example about the organization like your college, or you can take the example of school, or you can take the example of hospital, or you can take the example of bank. All these will be your examples. Okay, so this question over, 11th question. Moving towards the 12th question. Write a structure requirement document as suggested by your IEEE. Okay, so now I'll just go here. This is my 12th question. This is my 12th number of question. I'll just change it so that you can see properly. The question should be always highlighted. Okay, I'll just make it as non-bold. Yeah. So yeah, I just forgot to tell you here. Yeah, this question can come for your 6 or 8 marks. And also this question can come for your hardly 4 or 6 marks. Okay. So what all are the it is there. So what you can do is actually in your book also, in your textbook that is there, but still I will just mention that what all are the structure of the requirements, IEEE standards, or this is also you can say that, or on SRS, software requirement specification. Both the things are same only. Okay, so you can see that first you have to write meaning of SRS. Okay, first you have to mention the meaning of SRS. Then there are some points are there. I'll just write down some points. The first point you are going to write about customer and customers or end users. You can mention customers, or you can write end users. You have to write about them. Okay, how they are going to be useful, how they are going to give the requirements and all these things. You have to elaborate that point. So next one, project managers. What is the work of your project manager? How they are going to do and all. Next one will be system developers. Okay, what the system developers work is there, how they are going to work out, that you are going to mention. The fourth point, see everywhere requirements, then that whatever the system is that only I'm going to write. I'm not writing anything extra. So next one will be a testing part. So I'm writing the test engineers. So test engineers, what they are going to do. The last one will be a system maintenance. Okay. So this is your, these all are your 5 points. So you have to maintenance. Okay. So these all are your 5 points which you are going to elaborate the points. Okay, I'll just bold it. Yes. So these all are your points. Fine. So now we will just move to your next question. What is our next question? Yes, one more healthcare system. Completely same you are going to write. I'll just highlight here. Yes, 13 question number up. This is our question number. Please ignore the spelling mistakes. I am repeatedly telling you, if there is any you know already the spellings and all, I'm just typing it. Okay. So I'll just make it as okay. So here what we are going to do, some question already we have done. See here previously, yes, this one. So same thing we are going to mention here. Any kind of your case studies will come. The points will be same. You are not going to change any points. The points will be same. Okay. And here also the question I told you that it is a 6 or 8 marks question. That much it will come as your 6 or 8 marks of question. Same points. Okay. There is no changes in the points. Then moving towards the next question. Okay. Let me write the next question. Fine. Okay. I'll just write yeah. It looks nice if I'll make it as bold and interactive also. So now, what is the question? Why the understanding of requirements from stakeholders is difficult task? Okay. So here you have to mention about the stakeholders. So what about the stakeholders? If you remember, everything has come inside your like your requirement engineering process. We have to. This can be hardly 4 or 6 months, not more than that. Okay. So what we are going to write here, the points, you are going to write about the stakeholders. So here you have to mention about the stakeholder. Okay, what is that stakeholder? Then you have to write that what are the difficult tasks. So problems you have to mention. The first problem will be unrealistic expectations. Sometimes the customers will expect more than anything. So you have to stop all these things, otherwise you have to fulfill. Next one will be your differences, what you have there, what you had and now what you don't have. So that differences you have to find out. Okay, that is a requirements differences, the requirements. Yes. So what is the next point? Economic and business environment. Yes, economic and business environment. Some ideas you will get, all the examples whatever I have written. Yeah. So economic and business environment, how you are going to deal with them. Next one will be like your political changes. These all are your points. Political changes. So these all are your points which you are going to mention over in this stakeholders. Done. So next question. What is the next question? Sorry, this was your 14th question. I did a mistake over here. This is your 14th question. Yes. So now moving towards the last question of my question bank. So let me copy and paste this question. This is my last question. This is my 15th question. Okay, I'll just change it. Fine. So now what is the question here? As you can see here, explain the different checks to be carried out during requirement validation process. Okay, the validation process which is already there in the slide also. I'll just go through that and I'll write down here. You just go through and find out. I'll just write down your validation process, the points. First you have to mention the meaning of, see how much spelling mistake I'm doing. Meaning of validation. So you have to write down the meanings first. Okay. Once you have done, then there will be some of the requirement checkings will be there. So you are going to mention, there will be some points. You have to write about the validity. What is your validity? Then you have to write what do you mean of consistency. Okay, same points. You can see I'm not writing any new points. All are like same points. Then already this one already you have studied in one of the question also. Next is completeness. Yes, completeness. Okay, next one will be last one, realism and verifiability, right? Realism, and last one is verifiability. Okay, these are the points about your requirement validations. So once you have done with that, then you have to mention your, and just write down these all are your meaning and some of the points we have written. So then you have to write down about the requirement validation techniques. Requirement validation techniques. Okay, so under this you can find out requirement. I will only correct here. Requirement. Okay, okay, fine. Requirement validation techniques. So what are the will be there inside this? The first point will be there. Requirement review. Requirement reviews. Okay, you have to mention about the requirement reviews. Next will be prototyping. Prototyping. Next one will be yours. Test cases. Some of the test cases will be there that you have to write. Again, inside the test cases also there are some points. Okay, so what are the points? Let's see. Some points will be there. So the first point will be your, again, same thing about the verifiability, how you are going to verify all these things and you are going to write. Next one will be your comprehensibility. Comprehensibility. Yeah, comprehensibility. Next one will be traceability. Traceability. Next one will be your what is that? Adaptability. Yeah, adaptability. Adaptability. Yes. Okay, so these all are your points. Which one will come under your validation process? So this is all about your 15 questions schematic explanations. You can go through this and write according to this only in your exam, so that schematic explanation, so that you will get the good marks. Okay, these are the schematic explanations.